He looked at her and said it out loud. Like it was nothing. Like he had just invented a rule that made complete sense and was waiting for a round of applause. She is 22 years old. Been with this guy for a year and a half. Things felt normal. Comfortable. The kind of relationship where you stop overthinking every little thing because you think you finally know someone. And then one evening he brings something up. Casual. Relaxed. Like he is mentioning what he wants for dinner. He tells her that if she ever wanted to be with a woman, it would not count as cheating. Just like that. No conversation leading up to it. No asking her how she felt. Just a rule. Already decided. Already packaged. Delivered to her like a gift she never asked for. She sits with it for a second. Something feels wrong, but she cannot name it yet. So she asks him the only logical question. She says, "Okay, does that same rule apply to you?" He says no. Of course he does. Because this was never about her freedom. This was never about exploration or openness or any of the words he probably cycled through in his head before he said it. This was about a man who wanted something for himself and built a policy around her to get there. She kept thinking about it for days. Replaying the conversation. Wondering if she was being unreasonable. Wondering if maybe she was making it bigger than it was. And that right there is what this kind of thing does to you. It does not come in loud. It does not announce itself. It just quietly makes you question your own completely valid reaction until you feel like the problem. But then she found out something else. Something that changed the entire shape of this story. He had talked about it with his friends. Before he ever said a word to her, he had already workshopped this with his boys. Gotten the group consensus. Decided it was reasonable. And then came home and presented it to her like a done deal. He discussed the rules of her relationship with other people before he discussed them with her. Let that land for a second. She posted everything to Reddit. Every detail. Every word he said. And Reddit did not hold back. The top comment said something so simple and so sharp it cut right through everything. It said the problem is not the rule. The problem is that he made one. And she read that comment and something clicked. Because she had been arguing about the content of what he said this whole time. Whether it was fair. Whether it made sense. Whether there was some version of it that was okay. But that was never the real issue. The real issue was that he looked at their relationship and decided he was the one who got to define it. Quietly. Privately. With his friends. And then he handed her the result. She went back to him. Not to argue. Not to negotiate. She went back to him to say one thing. That if he wanted to start making unilateral decisions about what she did and who she was in this relationship, she would make one too. She was done. He backtracked immediately. Suddenly it was a joke. Suddenly she misunderstood. Suddenly the words that came out of his mouth did not mean what they clearly meant. Which is fascinating. Because they sounded exactly like what he said. She did not stay to hear the rest of it. And somewhere out there a 22-year-old woman is living her life without a man who thought the rules only applied to her. And every single person in that comment section said the same thing. Good. Here is what I want you to think about. The most dangerous kind of disrespect is the kind that comes wrapped in a permission slip. He never told her she could not do anything. He just quietly decided he was the one holding the pen. Was she wrong for feeling unsettled by something that technically gave her more freedom? Or did her gut know exactly what was happening from the very first sentence? Drop your answer below. Because I have a feeling you already know.